talking to you about how to juice your own tomatoes. According to Care Mortar and Ag Tires, as of 2024, on average, every human eats roughly 31 pounds of tomatoes every single year. A lot of people don't realize that it's that much, but it is, and it's kind of insane. My family and I, every single season, we go to my uncle's or my aunt's farms, and we pick our own tomatoes to juice. Roughly, we pick about 1,000 tomatoes a summer, and then that usually gives us about 50 to 100 jars of tomato juice, which lasts us years. But as we live in the South, we live in Kentucky, you guys either have farms or you know people with farms, so why not take advantage of that and make your own tomato juice? So the question of it is how. There are 3 easy steps to do this. The first one is to pick your own organic tomatoes. The next one is to cleanse and juice your tomatoes. And the third and final step is to seal the juice in the jar. Step 1, so you're gonna pick your own organic tomatoes. You may be wondering, where do you get these tomatoes? There's 2 very common places you can get them. You can either have them homegrown, which can be something as simple as a tomato plant or on a farm like I mentioned before, or it can be through a farmer's market or anywhere local that has produce that they're selling. The question is, why would you get organic tomatoes rather than just store-bought? And according to MP Mullen, as of 2002 and homegrown, they have a lot more nutrients than store-bought tomatoes. For example, they have 5 times the amount of calcium, 3 times the amount of potassium, and 2,000 times the amount of iron. All of the nutrients can really help your body in the long run, and it's extremely beneficial. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna let these tomatoes sit out once you get them. Preferably, it's gonna be on a table or somewhere where it's room temperature. This is because when you get the tomatoes, they're different colors. They're either yellow or red or orange or green, and you want them to all ripen up to one same color. Basically, the more ripe that they are and the more red that they are, the more juice you are gonna likely produce. So step 2 is to cleanse and juice your tomatoes. When you cleanse them, you're gonna both wash and cut them. So to wash them, it can be something as simple as soaking them in a sink. According to Barrington Gorgie in 2014 in the article, The Impact of Washing and Filtration on Diazone Residue During Tomato Paste Production, it actually removes this really dangerous insecticide called diazone. This can be really harmful for your body in the long run, and it's really good just to get that off your tomatoes and perfectly clean. When you go to cutting the tomatoes, if you have large ones, you're gonna cut them into 16ths, which sounds like a lot, but it's doable. And if you have smaller tomatoes, such as cherry tomatoes, you are gonna cut that in only to 6. The next part of this is to juice your tomatoes. So there's 3 parts within this. There's boil the chunks, strain the chunks, and then boil the juice. So to boil the chunks, you are gonna put all those cut pieces you have into this really large pan, put on the stove on high for about an hour or so, just so that it fully melts down. Next, you are gonna take a strainer or a mill or whatever you have to separate the seeds and the tomato skin from the actual juice, leaving it as just a liquid. Last, you are going to boil the juice. You're gonna take that juice that you just strained, put it back in the pan, put it back on the stove on high for an hour. This way you just ensure that everything is out and it's fully cleaned. The third and final step is to tightly seal the juice inside of a jar. So to do this, you're gonna sterilize it. With sterilizing, there's 2 things that you mainly wanna do. You wanna boil the lids. The lids are not this round part fully, it's just this flat part. The round part around it is called the ring. So when you boil them, you're gonna put them in a little pan, they can go together. You're gonna boil them on high until they pop. When they pop, you'll hear it, it's very obvious. Then you'll know that it's time to put them on the jars. The next thing you're gonna do while you're boiling those lids, you wanna actually wash the jars. You can do that in a dishwasher, something simple just to get them clean and warm. And then with that, it just really helps get rid of the bacteria. After that, you're gonna seal the jars really tightly. So before you do anything, you're gonna lay the jars out, put 1/4 teaspoon of salt into every single jar. After that, you're gonna pour in the juice, make sure that the juice is still warm, and that should go to roughly the top. When you add your lids, which is the next step, make sure to clean the top of it so that the seal is proper, because if you do all this and then you don't clean the top of the jar, it would just ruin the entire process. A little difficulty with that is that you're gonna have to take a fork to put the lids on top of the jars because you don't wanna mess it up. And so that's really important. And last, you're gonna add that ring that I talked about earlier. And once that's final and everything is secure and put together, you are not gonna touch the jars for probably about 8 hours after you make them. It's a lot of time, but that could just be overnight or something simple as that. So overall, there's 3 really, really simple steps to do this. You have to pick your organic tomatoes, which gives you so many health benefits, so many more nutritions. It is so beneficial to your body. The next step is to cleanse and juice your tomatoes. Not only is this healthier and it gets rid of residue, but it also tastes a lot better, and this will help you in any of your cookings, any of your meals. Extremely beneficial. And then the last step is to seal the juice inside of a jar. If you do this properly, it will last you years. I still have some from last summer and probably the summer before that, which is very nice. But everyone uses juice, whether you think you do or not. As I said earlier, a lot of people use tomatoes in a year. It's not that terrible of a process. It's pretty easy, and you get healthier, better tasting juice that lasts for years. So I would definitely take advantage of that. Besides, like I said, I like to get my tomatoes from my family and their farms. One great place you can get it, which is really easily accessible to everyone, is Lowe's. They have organic tomatoes as well as other little plants. So I think that is a really good option.